fully immerse yourself in the game at any time you can. The year that I played professional in the summer for those 2 games, and then I played the rest of the season with the reserves, and then the next season they invited us to preseason, me and the other player that played in the professional games. And so going into preseason, I was like just going into it like with all my might. Like I wanted to get a spot on the team. I wanted to do everything I could to continue what I had started the summer before. And I knew it was going to be a lot of work. I knew I was going to have to work harder than most girls, or put the extra in like every day, like go train on my own. And so I was doing everything I could. And then one day in preseason, we were on like a backfield training, and I remember I was feeling good that day. Like I just wanted to play. And a ball came into me from the left side, and I remember like Joanna Lohman was coming near me, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go quick. So I just did a little pivot like I have done 1,000 times. Left knee dropped in, almost touched the ground, and popped, which I didn't hear at the time because I was just in the moment. Adrenaline was running. And I went to the ground, and I just remember my knee like hurting so much. And I like didn't want to cry, didn't want to scream, but it just came out. Like I couldn't hold it in. And a few of the girls rushed over. I remember our keeper, Kelsey, was rushed over and was just holding my hand and saying, it's going to be all right, it's going to be all right. I had no clue what was going on. I thought my knee just popped out of place. And so I got escorted off the field, and I remember just saying, like, I think I'm good now. Like, after you tear your ACL, like, it hurts, but in some situations it can feel okay, like 5 minutes after. And there's like barely any swelling at that point. So I was like, get me back on the field. Like, I still need to continue to train. Like, I'm not gonna sit out for an injury. I've never sat out for an injury. Like, I've been healthy all of college. Why would I sit out now? But my trainer was like, no, let's just keep you over here for now, just to see what it is. Because at that point, all of them had known it was my ACL. I didn't hear the pop, so I had no clue. Go to the doctor that day, and they tell me that I tore my ACL, just completely broke down, not thinking anything like that could ever happen to me. But it did, so it was just a lot at the moment. And then after that, I kind of figured like I was in the right spot to do it, so I could get the rehab that I needed. I could continue to work on it, and get back to playing with the professional team. And so I rehabbed with the Spirit trainer for that whole year. And then towards the end of the year, when I was getting back to playing and training again, Mark Parsons left. So that was another kind of not blow, but it was hard just because he had seen me play. He'd seen me play before my ACL tear. He knew he knew the point that I was at that time. And so I was thinking, like, I got to rehab from an ACL, and I got to show for a new coach that knows nothing about me. And so that off season, I was definitely training. I was training every day, playing pickup with the girls, still doing rehab. I remember I was going to individual like rehab sessions with a guy that was what was he? I don't know what he's called. I was going to individual rehab sessions like every day, like putting all my money towards it just because I wanted to get better and get back to where I was. And then I remember it was 3 days before preseason started, and it was all set to go in. Jim Gabarro was excited to have me at preseason. He really wanted to see me play, and I remember 3 days before I was playing pickup with the girls from the team, and it's strange how it happened. I was also like really feeling it that day. Like it's just funny how like the days that you're like on could turn into a day you will like always remember, you know, for the wrong reasons. And I just remember like I was making good passes, I was like getting around people, I was doing like little cheeky like flips over their feet, and I was defending a girl down the line, and she was going like super fast, but I had in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna stop this girl. I'm not gonna let her get a cross off. She's my friend. I'm sure she'll like that. And she tried to hit a cross in, and I stuck the outside of my right foot out to block it, and my whole knee like bobbled in and out when the ball hit my foot, like in the air. Didn't make sense at all, but it just went in. And I remember that was like, even more so than the first one, that was the worst feeling of my life, like the worst pain I've ever been in. And so when that happened, I went to the ground, I was screaming, crying again, like you can't hold it in. And I just remember thinking like, no, this is too soon. Like I was just about to go into preseason. I was just about to get over this last injury and really prove myself and prove to others who had always looked up to me, like, you can overcome an injury, you can get through it. And I just remember like all that was going through my head as soon as it happened, not even knowing that it was my ACL, but just knowing like all that work that I had put in like hadn't, or was ending. And so I went to the doctor. They slowly came in and told me that it was my right ACL. And I like, again, like if you were in this situation, you would feel the same. Like you didn't even believe it. You were in shock. And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh. I was that close to going back to preseason and trying to prove myself again. And so it kind of just put me down for a little bit. I think it was just hard to come back from that one in the beginning of that process, just because I'm like, I just went through this. It's so fresh in my mind. Like I don't understand why I have to go through this again. But again, everything happens for a reason, and I know like the reasons why that happened were greater than, no, I don't want to say that. Were greater than I would have known at that moment. I don't know. Like my biggest advice for girls, younger, older, whatever level you're playing at, is to like fully immerse yourself in the game at any time you can. Just to watch the game, just to be around the game. Think about the game, think about what you could do to get better, think about what you're going to do in the next game that you play, and immerse yourself around people that are into the game like you. I think is good for especially young players nowadays, because I don't see as many watching the game and putting themselves into those settings as much as possible.